Have you ever by chance looked at your smallest member of the family and wondered where exactly they came from? Have you asked yourself, what is my cat's mark made in history? Going back to the very beginning, I found out on a website called Cats Info that cats were domesticated thousands of years ago in the country Egypt. The domestic cat may have evolved from the African wild cat. Scholars think this because domesticated cats today have a lot of the same tabby markings as an African wild cat. Egyptians recognized cats' usefulness for vermin control and eventually began worshiping them. So back then, your feline friend was complete royalty. They were treated as gods and goddesses. So if anyone was to kill a cat, they received the death penalty in return. Cats were so important that they were mummified just as humans after their passing. So why were they so valued? Here are some roles cats held in history. According to another website called Catster, the importance of cats goes far back as legends of cats as warriors in which they were protectors. They were very important, and showing that is the Sphinx monument in Giza, which stands to this day and represents guardianship. So not only were cats looking after citizens in Egypt, but they were known for guarding Buddhist sculptures in Japan, keeping mice and rats away. So cats even rode upon ships in the Viking era. They traveled trade routes, and they kept the cargo free of rodents. They became popular in Indian and Arabian folktales, as well as mythology in early time periods. So another interesting fact is that Muhammad, the founder of Islam, absolutely loved cats. He even had one of his own. Her name was Muezza. One day Muezza was sleeping on his prayer robe. Instead of moving and disturbing the cat, he cut off his sleeve. He didn't want to wake her. Sadly, in a brief time period in the Middle Ages, cats were not so popular. They were scorned and seen as evil. They were killed for amusement and to ward off evil spirits. I found out on a website called Smithsonian Mag that some scholars think this might have helped the plague spread even more, with more rats to carry it. So with cats making a name for themselves in history, they began domesticating around the world. Eventually, cats were taken to Italy. They spread slowly across Europe, and they came to the New World later with the Pilgrims. Long-haired cats came from Turkey and Iran and are a popular pet today. Because cats were often used on ships, that's how they got across to the New World. With Pilgrims, there was even a cat that rode across on the Mayflower. So how did cats transition to where they are today as a common American household pet? So it wasn't until the 1600s that cats became popular in the West as we know them now. By the 1800s, cats were a very common house pet, not only for keeping the mice away in farms, but also as house companions to humans. Cats were widely known as household pets to this day, with most homes having at least one. So they have retained many of their wild instincts from their ancestors. One interesting fact is that black and white cats are the most common domestic cat as of today. So nowadays, in 2018, cats are a billion-dollar industry, complete with services and products from grooming spas to cat litter. So cats have come a long way since their thrones in Egypt to their mockery in the Middle Ages, and now to their comfortable spot in your lap. You may or may not love them, but they have a reputable place in history and will continue to be a part of our lives.